If there never was a mother. I'm Gwen Newnham, and I've been here 31 years in Qatar and 31 years in this house. And I love where I am because with 5 children, we have a very big 19-room house. None of my children were born in Qatar, but the youngest were literally just weeks after their 3rd birthday. So they were twins, 2 3-year-olds, a 5, a 6, and a 7-year-old. And it was a fabulous place to be. Now, 2 of them are married, and 3 are thinking about it. So at the minute, I have 2 grandchildren and 2 more on the way. I'm from Britain, but it's probably over 40 years since I lived there because before I came to Qatar, I was 10 years in Al Yunan. In terms of my lifetime, I spent more time here in Qatar than any other country, including Britain. We moved to Qatar because the company my husband was with was struggling a little bit. And some friends of ours told us about Qatar. So Jeff made an application for his job for here. And we didn't expect to get it, but he was the selected one. And so we moved to Qatar. Oh, when I landed in Qatar, it was Gulf Air in those days. And when I landed everything was desert. When you're coming in, it was just desert and sea. Because I like the sea, I was born and brought up next to the sea. I was quite relieved that where we were was close to the sea. Qatar has something very special about it. The family are very, very close. The grandma, grandfather, the children, the parents, great-grandparents, they're all still united. They still meet every weekend. And in England, I'm from the north of England, we don't even lock our door. Or if we do, we leave the key hanging down. So if you're passing by, you can let yourself in. And it's the one reason why I've never wanted to leave Qatar. The family stays close. And our family, even though we're British by passport, I think we're more Qatari by culture. The education in Qatar for my kids was excellent. One, because the classrooms were smaller, there were less people in the classroom, so the teacher could get to each and every child. In England, I do know that many classrooms are overfilled, so the teacher can't communicate properly with all the class. The medical system in Qatar is amazing. I've had 5 operations in the time I've been here, and my son, one of my sons, he's the mathematics teacher, he had a spinal disorder because he's one of 2 twins. The Emir of Qatar at the time, Sheikh Hamad, had flown in this special doctor from Great Ormond Street in London, and they agreed to see my son. And the doctors fixed it. The price of that operation in Britain would have been £160,000 and up. In Qatar, it cost me the equivalent of 2,000. Even if I was sick abroad, I'd want to come back to Qatar to get fixed. So in 2006, when they were advertising the Asian Games, they needed people, but of course there were no production houses because there's no talent agency. And that actually was what kick-started opening up the very first talent agency in Qatar. So we began, I found the people for the ticketing campaign, and then after the campaign was over, we used about 80 people. So by the time the FIFA bid came along, which is 2009, we began filming, throughout 2009 and 2010, we had actors, we had even Qatari, and because of that, we managed to get people on board. And of course, on 6:35 on the 2nd of December, when the announcement was made, my phone never stopped ringing. We actually provided the jobs for the people of 2022, for the stadiums being built, for the metro being built. Because we existed in 2006, no people to put in a film, there would be no film. No film, there's no bid. My background was about colours and proportions and design. So I taught people about how colours, designs, proportions affect you. Now, to begin with, people see that as a fashion type thing. But whilst I did do that, there were also, let's say, for men who were in business, perhaps a merger, a business merger, and to teach them how certain colours make you react. Prince Edward and his wife Sophie came for British Week. I did a fashion show. The city centre had just been built. My background is stage and television. So anything that's going to be on a stage, I'm happy to coordinate, fix, organise, get the colours right, you know, get the backdrop right. That's what I like to do. In Qatar, things weren't developing very quick. I met people who would say to me, you know, we need somebody for this bank shoot, and I would find the people for them. But we're still in the 90s, and I would find the right people because I know what I'm looking for, and I'd do the makeup on them because I did makeup. I'd do the hair for them because I know how to style hair. But this was happening more and more. And then I began to take notice of the advertisements that were coming out. And all of them, they didn't show Qatar as it was, as it should be. And I realized that the advertisements were being done abroad and then brought into Qatar. And I think with that knowledge behind me, by the time it came to the campaign, we were pretty much ready to set up an agency. Working in Qatar, and I say this to a lot of people, it's like a blank canvas. Because if you have an idea and you can see a gap in the market, then you can go for it. I couldn't have set up an agency, let's say in London, where I worked for many years. I couldn't have probably written the book because I didn't have people to work with. I've never been driven by the money. I've been driven by the job. If I love the job, I can do it.
اسمي جوزيف نيونهام، جو باختصار. صار لي أكثر من 30 سنة في الدوحة الحين. بريطاني بس متربي هني، فالحمد لله أنا قدرت أخذ اللغة. من يوم أني صغير أنا كنت وايد برا البيت، يعني في الفريج، دائما ألعب مع الجيران، أدخل بيوتهم، اتعلم من الاخوان اللي عندنا في الفريج، والحمد لله انا درستهم في نفس الوقت اللغه الانجليزيه. احلى شيء السلام، يعني تطلع في الفريج اي وقت هني كل شيء مفتوح، باب البيت مفتوح على طول 24 ساعه، باب جيراننا مفتوح 24 ساعه، يدخلون عندنا ادخل عندهم عادي. لما كنت صغير يعني الجيران دائما يسوون لنا اكلات، يحاولوا يسوون اكلات اجنبيه، الكيكات وهالامور. فاكثر شيء يمكن تقول شيبس عمان، كانوا يحطون فلفل فيها وهالامور. اما اكلات عربيه، المكبوس طبعا غريب علينا، عيش عندنا بس الطبخه اللي يسوونها شلون يسوونها هني مع السلطه واللحم او السمك، وهذه اول مره نجربها، فلما كنت صغير تعودت عليها بصراحه. انا لما كنت صغير كنت اسافر اوروبا ولا حد يعرف عن قطر، وانا الحين قمت امثل البلد وين ما اروح يعني ربعي كلهم في انجلترا، في اليونان، في امريكا، شنو هاي قطر، وش فيها، وش عندك، ليش انتم هناك، وش تسوون هناك، شلون الحياه هناك. الحين كل هالناس اللي كانوا يسالوني في خلال هالسنين، اخر 30 سنين، الحين كلهم يبون يجون، كلهم كاس العالم، ها بتحجز لنا تذاكر، بنسكن عندك، ها وين بنروح، وين بنعيش. قطر تعني لي وطن اكثر من وطن.
I've lived in Qatar exactly at this spot. 31 years we've been in this house. And in the early days, it was called West Bay. And then it changed to Daphna. I think it's got a new name now. So as the rest of Qatar was building over the years, they moved the West Bay area, for instance here, Qatar Sports Club. And it was all part of West Bay. The language for me was, it was very new. I realized that the actual, once you got used to the writing and the sounds, it was quite easy. So I did actually go to learn Arabic, reading and writing first of all, and that was 3 months. 3 months, and I could read quite clearly. Arabic isn't so difficult to learn, but for me, here, all my neighbours, all the ladies in the street, they wanted to learn English. So I ended up speaking English to them. They'd say to them, you speak English too, you speak Arabic to me. And they went, no, we must speak English, So أكلم شوي عربي. During Ramadan, I love that time of the year. I have some friends who serve lots and lots of people, probably about 600 people every night. So they have given me the blessing of being able to join them during Ramadan. So every day Ramadan from 3 o'clock, 3:15 I think it is, I'm there doing the haris, and you know, we're putting all the food into all these big basins. The TV in the early days, in the first couple of years we were here, I watched, there was QTV English, QTV Arabic, and we watched the English as well as the radio. The whole community of Qatar was linked to some competitions and programs on the radio. So you'd have groups of people situated around Doha, and they'd be listening to quiz questions. And the team that won the answers, phoned in the answers the quickest, they won the prize. Well, there was one was Auntie Lucy's, that was in the morning, Friday mornings, because she had a magic mirror and she was talking over the radio. All the children would gather around the radio and she'd say, and, you know, my parents would phone in the names of the children. But I actually told Auntie Lucy, who's not here anymore, I told her what my son was wearing. And I said, it's Andrew. I want you to make mention of Andrew, and he's wearing a purple top and blue trousers. And of course, all the kids were here. And to make sure she couldn't see them, they hid behind the sofa. Auntie Lucy said, now who can I see in my magic mirror? And she'd named 2 or 3 children. Then she said, hold on, I can see Andy there. Andy, why are you hiding? I can see your purple shirt and your blue trousers. Well, he nearly freaked out, you know, because he's looking everywhere to see how Auntie Lucy could see what he was wearing. And that was great for the kids. That was great.
Hi, I'm Jeff Newnham. I came to Qatar because I was offered an interesting job. At the time, it was a place I'd never heard of. But it was an interesting change from Europe when I arrived. I didn't know what to expect. It was very small, a small village, and it was good fun. We had 5 small children. It was a good place for them to grow up. I'd been in Greece for 10 years. We spent a short time in England in the snow before I came directly here. It was a surprise. It was warm, everywhere was sand, but it was interesting. I walked out the building and my glasses fogged over in the heat, but it was very interesting. We've been here 30 years now. The kids grew up here. They were all under 8 when we came. It was a very good, safe environment for them to grow up in. We enjoy it as a family. And fortunately, all the family are still together here. We had to make our own entertainment because there wasn't much to do 30 years ago outside of the house. But it was good because we did things together. It's a very safe environment. We haven't had to worry about where the kids are. I understand you can't let your kids out in England now on their own. Qatar feels like home.
My name is Andrew Newhenham. I came here when I was 7 years old in 1988, and I work on the internet for a local company here. My favorite thing when I was a child was to ride on my bicycle There was not a lot of traffic, it was very safe. I would meet up with my friends and we would go riding in the desert. We would play with our remote control cars. We didn't really have any internet or TV, so we would make our own games. There was nothing on TV basically. In the early 90s, there was this international burger joint that opened, and we were all very excited. We thought, wow, now Doha is like London. At the end of school, all of our parents came and collected us, and everybody in the whole town went straight to this new burger place to try these burgers. I mean, every day there's new towers coming. Each time they build a new tower, it's bigger than the last tower. It's a new design. It looks like like a modern European kind of city now. You can imagine only having the corniche in those days. It was like having one pyramid at the end of the corniche. All of my friends are here, the people I went to school with, my family is here. This is my home.
We have a lot of photos of when the children were small, and it's great to see them. We went out on the water a lot of times. The first thing I did was buy myself a boat, and we'd go out at sort of 5:30, 6 in the morning, and come back at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then have a siesta from 10 till 2. We have videos as well, and the children, they were so happy here, so happy, because they could come and go anywhere. And you see from some of the photos that their lifestyle was completely different, because you've got the sunshine, you've got the water, you've got the desert, and the things that they could do, they definitely couldn't do back in Britain. In Qatar, the places I think I like the most are the ones that show the diversity of the people here. And probably Souk Waqif. I'm not that big on malls and things, but I think when people come into Souk Waqif, and sometimes you have the camels come through, or you have the horses come through, and you have people from every country come in, and they will eat, and you can talk to anyone. I think Souk Waqif is probably my most favorite place. Qatar is safety. Qatar is family around you. Qatar is no depressing days, because the sun is always there. And even when it rains and there's clouds, we all go out and play in it. Qatar is a fantastic place to be.